What's up?
Aren't you doing it for the likes?
Nah, I ain't doing it for the likes.
Okay, hold up. So you doing it for the pussy?
Nah, I mean, yeah, no, I ain't doing it for that.
Okay, then what are you doing it for?
Man, I do it for the culture.
The culture?
After this, I'll holler at y'all. I got some other shit for you.
Hey, oh, we got that fire for me? All right, cuz.
El fuego.
Don't worry. Don't mind us, ladies and gentlemen. We just talking weed shit. But I don't even smoke. I got to just replace my roommate shit because I've been having people over and they smoking on his stuff. So I'm going to have to got to replace. I'm one of those, like, I don't smoke, but I'm a good host. So I'm like, hey, man, just
smoke
get it back to me before he come back in town.
Right.
We'll be all good. Hey, check this out. This is episode 7 of For the Culture podcast. I'm your host, Nick Alexander. Here's my co-host, Amarie Lee.
What's going on, guys?
And today is a special episode. I got cast as well as the creators from the hit show on True TV, Lafftracks. Right across from me is my man Carlos, one of the creators. Carlos, how you doing, brother?
Hola.
Carlos doesn't speak English, guys, so this is going to be an interesting interview.
That's all the Spanish I know.
That's all the Spanish.
Hold on.
He black Tino. His black side raised him, but he still got the Spanish in him.
Right. I'm actually black and Filipino.
I was close. All right,
black
so
and
Filipino.
All right. Yeah. There's a lot of Spanish.
True Bay Area right there.
Here,
That's a true Bay Area.
Yeah, that guy me.
Okay. And we got another Lafftracks affiliate, man. It's funny stand-up comic. He has a set on the show, and he did some acting on it as well. Give it up for DC Ervin, y'all.
Oh, man, thank you. Good times.
Good times, DC.
Good times.
DC's one of my guys. I've known DC. He's one of the first people I met when I used to come out here in L.A., and I always,
before you moved here, huh?
When I used to be a visitor.
Yeah.
I used to be an extended visitor.
Yeah. What that couch do?
Yeah, what that couch do. But DC gave me a couple rides home, so I always remember people who gave me a ride home, and I always figured when I can pay it back for it, I will. I still haven't given DC a ride home, but
this is not it.
Working up to that, he's a guest on the show today.
This almost a ride.
It's almost a ride.
I'm gonna hook him up with
almost a ride.
$5 off on Lyft.
It wasn't too out the way. You know, he was like, "Where you live again?" All right, I got you. I got you. I was like, that's all I
Hey,
need
where
to
was
hear.
you staying at that time?
I was staying on La Brea and Olympic at Shanksville.
Yeah, he sure was.
Yeah. He was like, "All right, you ain't that bad."
I got you.
Yeah, if I had been like, I'm in Baldwin Hills, I don't know about that, man.
All the way down.
I'll still do it, but you're going to hear some shit.
You gonna hear some shit in the car? Like,
hella far.
hey, man, you're going to have to start, learn how to hustle out here, man. When you come out here, you got to plan that shit. You got to have your budget for the Ubers. I don't think Uber was out back then. I was still busting.
Uber wasn't cracking yet.
Uber wasn't cracking,
not
nah.
yet.
I started coming out like 2012, 2013, but Uber wasn't there yet. But
I came out here in
When you get here?
8, 9, the end of 8, 9.
Yeah. How do we say that, right? Like, you know how we have, and one with Amarie is also on Lafftracks. You can look out for her as well. This episode is going to come out after her episode this Wednesday airs, but still check it out.
Hey.
And keep watching Lafftracks every Wednesday night. What time?
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Is that West Coast or East Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast on True TV.
But 11 East Coast and 11 West Coast.
So they rerun it. They're running it like crazy.
Yeah, unless you got the East Coast feed, then you seeing it at 8.
Okay, all right. So to the world, just tune in True TV Wednesday nights. It's gonna be Lafftracked out. But you were saying, like, what I was gonna ask, how do we like phrase these decades, right? Because it's great to say we had 70s, 80s, 90s, and then how do we do the 2000s? Do we just do the 00s or like the 08s? Is that how we best say it?
I know. No one ever.
And I heard people calling this one the 10s.
The 10s.
The 10s.
Yeah, I guess. It's just whatever.
It's just
everybody
happening,
started.
nigga.
It's just not cool, but it's just not cool, man. I
Yeah.
love how
It's
we
still
can
the
just
future.
back in '98.
Yeah.
But when I say back in 14, it don't sound the same.
It
Let
don't-
that
it
hashtag
doesn't.
start trending and then we'll figure it
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Motherfucker
the
jump on the
05.
bandwagon.
Like, I feel like up until 2012, things were still in the past to me because YouTube wasn't popping till like 06.
Right. I was in high school when
7.
YouTube got huge.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm about a whole class above a lot of guys.
Yeah,
you know, 3-4
Me
years
too, yeah.
ahead of guys. So it's like I was on the cusp of the old school where my big brothers and them didn't have, I actually was in high school and I had a cell phone, but it was one of them flip joints with the thing popped.
Nokia.
Whoa, I got the hookup.
I got the hookup cell phone. Like I would pop the back open. Like right was, and I
had a
had a
two-way
pager. I had a 2-way. That was my like,
Yeah.
like, that era was dope.
How was that dealing with girls when you had a 2-way pager?
It was.
Was it the best way to do it? Like now when you're looking back with all the technology?
You didn't know any other way.
Let me tell you something. There's some kids out here. gaming girls up on, dope texts. And I'm like, wow, like that's like all low key love letters back in the day. And we would try to do that with pagers back in the day. And you would try to, 143.
It was codes.
Codes and
pager
shit.
codes.
Pager codes.
So it's always been around, but I think I had more gift of gab back in the day.
Right.
The gift of the gab was like, if you can drop a line and made a girl smile or laugh, that was it. That was
That's all you needed.
That's all you needed. Now it's like, oh, let me get your Instagram and then let me impress you.
Let me show you what I do with my pictures.
Yeah,
It's like
emojis
I go to the
and stuff.
beach. Yeah.
there's no personality.
And also, guys, there's so much saturation on Instagram. There's so much content, so much false pretenses of what things are versus what they really are.
Right.
So it's that's kind of
Speak
like
on
the
it.
standards for the guys. It's kind of like, I'm looking for this perfect bitch that doesn't exist. Because you meet her and it's kind of like,
You can really fake
brr,
it. Yeah.
you know?
You know what's funny? When I was in high school, all I wanted to do was like date video vixens.
Right.
And that was
still
like
do.
but
I'm trying to get all the ones that was cracking when I was a kid now because like their time. I mean, it's not that their time is over, but like they're not in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's nostalgic now, but
Yeah. Well, they're dating ex NBA guys now.
Right,
so
right.
it's like,
and they going for moguls.
yeah, exactly. They're trying to level up too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
So at every level, but it's like I was a kid. I was like, that's all I want to do. And when I started working in the biz, I mean, I was working in it when I didn't know I was working in it back in the day. You know, our high school had a little video production class, and we was learning the switchers and
Nice.
camera, all that stuff. I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is how stuff is made, on TV. And so I had a different perception early. Even though I was an athlete, I was a 3.0 student. I was
Dope.
had a lot of, I had a scholarship. I got a scholarship.
What sports you played?
Basketball, track, football. Got a scholarship in football to play at San Jose State.
This is quite the show because we got some athletes. Oh, everybody here.
Yeah.
Amarie played sports.
Yeah.
She was a
Oh,
baller.
yeah.
I was a pitcher for my softball team.
Oh, I can see that.
Guard basketball team, and I was in vocal ensemble, thespians, president, fucking everything. I was in everything.
The
in
whole
high school.
shebang.
The whole shebang. Yeah.
Who you were in high school is who you are in life.
Really?
Could agree to a certain extent. I could agree to that. Yeah.
Either there's now that's like
I'm thinking of my
90%.
shit now.
There's like 90%, right?
Okay.
There's 90% of people who they were as like just who they are.
Yeah.
They were in high school. Like if you kind of overachieved or underachieved or barely made it, that's kind of how you are in life. But you transition into a career. It's how I see things, and I'd see people. Sometimes you'll have a fall and then you'll come back up, and you'll be like, wow. But it'll be it's a different spiral. It's either you spiraling up or you spiraling down. And I was a cool guy in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, president of the BSU. I was a chess club.
Word.
I was doing a lot, but behind the scenes, not really trying to be. Even though I played football and we're in papers and all that shit, I felt like. To me, this is like an honor to be in this mix because this was never really my dream. I wanted to play sports.
Gotcha.
You know what I
DC,
mean?
you played ball too,
I
right?
hoop, bro. Yeah.
DC hoop. I played with DC before. You
I
can watch
see a clip
DC
of
and you be
you?
like, DC's a hooper.
Yeah, I
we just
hoop,
all out
bro.
of shape now. None of us are in good shape, but we know like, if he was in shape,
Yeah, you could tell. I
Yeah.
played somewhere. Yeah,
it's there, but it's like
It's slower.
I'm
It's
waiting for
slower.
the next Pookie basketball classic.
Let me fun, bro.
Man.
The weather ain't good yet. Well, we
I can
got
play. I can give you buckets for like 5 minutes. After
5
that, I'm
minutes.
like, I'm
so
done.
the first game on the pickup, you'll be balling.
I'm the best. You be like, hey, he can play.
The first game.
First game, I'm real. After that, I'm like,
Game
all
up
right.
to 11 or what
Yeah.
game? Up to
21?
11?
Seven.
21.
Seven.
Seven.
We got a good 4 right now. Let's go. I don't
We
know
got
if
it.
Robin can play.
I bet-
We
I
could
always
get a
be-
good 5 right
So
now.
I'm stable. I'm a little bit more stable now than when I was trying to get with y'all before to play ball. Are you playing ball once a week with Cats?
No, I don't play. I don't play no more. I mean, it just.
I know Brewer was
depends,
playing
bro.
somewhere. I gotta hit him up and see if he still.
Oh, yeah,
plays.
they play
There was
at,
a gym on
Points-
Sundays.
They play
Point
point
Siena.
set. It's just too much. I don't like hearing people argue over calls.
It takes shit
and
real
stuff.
serious. And it's
Yeah.
like,
That's why I would want to have
Like,
just
you ain't
the
getting
10
paid
of
for this.
friends. Like all of us are cool. We can interchange the teams, and
Yeah,
it's just
like
gonna be
that.
fun. And
Nick,
know?
when you hit it big, just build a basketball court in the back.
Yeah.
it
coming
looks like
through.
that's what I'm gonna have to do.
You gonna have to
They
do
leave
it,
me no
man.
choice.
Pull up, pull up Pookie. Isn't that what Pookie doing?
Yeah.
Pookie got game.
Call it the Nick of Comedy basketball.
But you
class.
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have my pool is gonna be like 4 feet,
Okay.
and I'm gonna line it like a football field. It's gonna be like
Play pool football,
and it's gonna be matted. Yeah, we're gonna play pool football and fuck y'all up.
That sounds like a lawn fountain. Like,
Yeah, it sounds. Somebody gonna get hurt.
we gotta have the Vixens there.
I mean,
White
it's gonna
House
be.
fountain.
Who are your
the Vixens definitely?
Who are
be
your
on the
top
spot.
5 Vixens? We can go from any era. Just pull 5.
That's too many.
Gosh, man.
That's too many.
Vita Guerra.
Vita Guerra was
That's
definitely
season
putting
your 5?
in work.
Is she because she Cuban?
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked a lot. I did a lot of the hyphy movement stuff up in the Bay. That was like my first real film stuff. Shout out to Rush Film. Shout out to my boy Rock Jacobs directing.
Nice.
That's kind of where I got my feet wet after school. You know what I'm saying? I would even though I played football, I was like really passionate about like editing and like film and like the traditional stuff, like splicing, like real like old school stuff, and which is actually lost today with this. I mean, this cell phone, you can do everything I did in different departments. For sure. And I think where I am as an 8, I'm good conduit between the old school and new school. Mm-hmm. And I think DC is a test to that too, because his comedy's kind of like that. You can see the different perspectives of where we were and where actually the true like the best era of hip hop came from,
I think
which
so,
wasn't
too, yeah.
digitized. You know, now it's like everyone's kind of bifurcated. Like they don't really.
It's like microwavable now.
It's like
recycled.
Yeah,
and it's like once a kid makes something hot, everybody got it. Back in the day, it took a while for the word of mouth to be like, "Yo, them niggas is fire."
That's how you building buzz and stuff. Buzz ain't really built. I mean,
no,
it's still in a ways, but I attribute the buzz to like legitimate shit. Like for instance, you track a comic 4 years ago, they do Montreal. Then they make the Variety top 10 list. Then they get their first late night set. Then they do a couple guest stars. Then they get a pilot, whatever. Then they get casted in a special. Like that's kind of like
that's the track.
For stand ups, I think our ways of building that heat towards what we're trying to go for. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I felt like Lafftracks was trying to do. I mean, you know, we started online,
right?
That was the digital wave.
Sketches, World Star,
and you know, we had a bunch of stuff that we put out, and that was the one that really stuck. You know, and shout out to Jamal and Rebecca.
Yes.
Who's Jamal? Who's
Jamal Dideau is one of our directors. Rebecca Hayes is also
I think I see Jamal.
Yeah. These guys are mad creative, and you know, Bob Sumner. Shout out to Bob Sumner.
Bob Sumner.
B.O.B. He the one that really put us together and was like, yo, y'all could figure something out. And we came up with this idea. And I said, yo, I used to do music videos. Why don't we make these? And I was cutting up all the stuff. Like I did produce stuff before. We had like 4-hour specials on Showtime. Red Grant, Red Caught Red-Handed.
Right.
Rudy,
Roz G. She was so funny, man.
It's amazing.
It's so sad, like her health, why she's not killing it, because she would be out here just raking it in right now. But that special was fire.
So I produced a lot of that, and I was cutting a lot of that stuff up to put it on YouTube, and was like
Mark Vieira too, right?
Mark Vieira,
and,
Rudy Rush,
yeah.
And then we had a lot of other special. I mean, we shot some stuff with Lil Rel. This is 2010. You know,
back in the day, yeah. That sounds so
Rel.
back in the day.
Right
2010
is
almost 2010 is back in the day now, bro.
Back in the day,
yeah.
You know, Carlos Miller, Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
A lot of guys. That,
they were Laugh Mob, right?
It was all Laugh Mob back then, and that was early. You know, Los didn't have no beard. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, Los with no beard. That's like
Los,
James Harden. They both decided to grow it out around the same time.
Exactly. You know, now they're just bearded up.
But the channel started you guys off with the midnight snack, right? Like
so True TV saw we showed them these online clips, and on World Star they blew up. We had like 10 million views already.
The one that stood out to me was Tiffany Haddish doing the Roz G one.
About the prostitute. Exactly. Tiffany Haddish before she was Tiffany Haddish.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I Tiffany came through for
I never saw that one.
Nothing.
Oh, that was a big one.
Whole resume. Look it up online. Just put in whole resume. It'll pop up. There's 60 million views on Facebook. It was like it went bananas, and I feel like that's kind of what helped people see her. Also to get, you know what I mean? Before her,
goddamn right. Take that credit, Los.
I don't know. I mean, Tiffany's a star regardless.
I know.
You know what I mean? She didn't need me. She was already tracked. She was already. That's when she was just I think she just got something with.
But that was a hilarious I mean, just the way she was, because she's so physical and just brings it. Like, she's not afraid to make the ugly faces and just really, you know.
That's what's kind of cool about the show. It's another lane, and that's what we were trying to create. Is just like, we don't want to just say, all right, we'll take this one comedian and vertically make him a star. We were trying to create a whole lane where multiple people can play,
right,
and emerge and create whatever it is. So with this show, it's a great format because we were blending actors who nobody knew and comedians nobody knew, with a concept nobody's ever seen before. And it was like, wow, it played together so well, and the streets A&R'd it. You know, when you put it on World Star and 90% of the motherfuckers was like, this is fire. Like, take this WQ.
The streets confirm what
you know, they was confirming.
They was watching, and then they confirmed.
And then I was like, cool, we got something. And we put so much effort into them. We only made like 3 or 4 of them and released those.
They shared a lot. A lot of people were sharing it on Facebook. I do recall.
Yeah.
Because you see the Lafftracks logo and the thing, and then the sketch plays out. And yeah, man. I trust me. I've been in comedy. I did a little over 8 years, and I've seen what Laugh Mob has done with that, and then the Lafftracks, definitely those sketches, man. And then just to evolve into a television show,
man,
half-hour show, you know, and then it's multiple stand-ups getting to do their bits, so people can see them as stand-ups, a little bit of joke, and then going into the cinematic portion of their bits,
and seeing, you know, the kind of into the mind, or it brings really the joke to life.
Definitely.
And you know, guys like DC who would have to be thirsting to try to get on another only like Comedy Central or one show, like
a whole nother avenue it gave
True
us.
TV is, you know, so open to, you know, this format and this style of comedy, and you know, it's giving guys another, you know, lane to, you know, make some coin. You know what I mean? Because it's really about getting visible. Because look, you know, I'm mad. I'm not mad.
Tell them why you mad.
Tell them why you mad, son. I'm not mad. I shouldn't say I'm mad. I'm just frustrated that, and I feel like I have to be someone who kind of spearheads mining this lane, because I feel like y'all are way more talented than some of the rappers that are out here making millions off mumble rapping,
and we make
and it's like
nothing,
and y'all making lives feel better. You're you know what I'm saying. You're spreading a more of a positive message throughout the world, because laughter is like universal, and I feel like it's not enough of y'all making bread.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, how can we make bread like them rappers? So I felt like this is one of those shows to show like y'all just like rappers, or even better.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got bars too, but the
joke bars.
Joke bars. But the lane hasn't been mined like how music has. If I'm a rapper and I came out with a song, I could go to the radio, I can go traditional, I can go digital and just sell. Where with comedy, it's a little different. You're like, damn, like how do I got to get a show? Do I got to get
we're really behind trying to figure out how to get us up to par with the other entertainers.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, this right here is an avenue.
Podcast.
Audio is an avenue to make some coin and really put your content out there.
Our goal is 50,000 subscribers, Amy, and then we can start.
Where y'all at right now?
Like
50,000 is when you start caking it?
It's like, I think you make like 200,000.
I'm gonna have to start posting some thirst trap pictures.
Listen to this.
But that's hilarious. So DC, I gotta ask you something. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong, and Los, it'll go back to you too. So we all know when we come up with ideas, great ideas, sometimes people steal them. And
I mean, people stole Lafftracks.
That's what I was going to ask about. So there was a show called Acting Out on MTV that it looked like it played out similar.
I did that show too.
And that's what I was going to figure it out. So DC, how do you feel?
Oh, DC did?
When I was doing it, I was like, wait a minute.
Did you feel like a comedy whore?
I did, bro. When we were doing it, you know, we just, you know, we go where the check is.
For check, yeah.
And then when I was doing it, I was like, wait a minute. Carlos and them are working on something very similar to this shit.
Yeah.
But I think they only aired like 2 episodes.
It didn't do well.
And it didn't go, I don't think it did well.
But Lafftracks is thriving.
Was it the same format? How was the format? Like, what was it?
Look, you know, if there's a Coca-Cola, there's a Pepsi.
Yeah,
everybody likes to rip. You know, everybody, especially Hollywood, loves to be second. But when you thorough, You know, there
wasn't
is no
authentic.
second. Like niggas will still come back to that spot because it gives you what you need. So, you know, if you put in quality work, I don't give a fuck. Every movie has been made, every show has been made multiple times. It's who does it right. You know what I'm saying? Chicken has been fried multiple times. Or why do you keep going to Chick-fil-A? You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like,
do it
say
better.
that.
you know what I'm saying? Everybody do chicken. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck. Make your money. You know.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, if you closer to the end zone and you want to steal somebody's idea to get you across the end zone, do your dirt, homie.
Yeah.
And I can't be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Because you black.
But it's the same token. A lot of times when people steal shit, it doesn't come out the same way.
It never will come out the same
like
way.
if someone steals,
especially the people who's making it behind it. They taking this show now and trying to make it something different. I mean, what it is on True TV is different from what it started from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to continue to get watered
But
down.
they need people like you in the room to kind of keep the integrity somewhat, to kind of make sure like it don't get like just peeled off until it's not what it originally was. Because that's something that happens too.
Because didn't
like,
they do another one? There was another one. Like I think HBO was doing something. What or someone?
You know,
they tried one?
Like a story. They were doing a story
I
show.
mean, they have a drunk history on Comedy Central.
Yeah. I mean, drunk
That's-
history's popping. That's been popping before us.
Exactly.
You know, this is drunk history on crack.
Yeah.
Really, you know what I
got
mean?
you.
This is
Okay.
like
Drunk history was before.
Yeah.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah. That drunk history's been around, and Chappelle's around before drunk history, and you know, I mean, Chappelle was a little different because they actually went to the sketch and from stage or from the story, or whatever. This is actually more of a sync thing, and lip sync battles out. So the whole syncing of the
there's like a couple lip sync battles.
Yeah,
like, there's
exactly.
James Corden, they rap battle on his show. Then there's a lip sync thing. Then there's like. It's interesting.
But I mean, and then
but,
there were some guys online doing it, and they were popping.
I
So
seen that too. Yeah,
they got a little more juice because they ripping an idea that was done from some nobodies. But we were I feel like
you stay true to the course.
You just stay true to the course.
and got a show out that shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I think the execution
for sure
is you were talking about ideas, right?
Yeah.
Niggas got. And there's a nigga in the ghetto right now with the best fucking app idea, but the nigga can't execute it. Or there's a nigga in Bangladesh or something with some amazing idea, but he can't execute it because he doesn't have the resources to.
Sometimes that's the
what I'm saying?
Part of the game.
And then you might have a great idea and you have all the resources to do it, and it comes out like acting out, and it'll never take off. So there's God is in charge of all the shit that makes pop. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, you need a little more cinnamon, you need a little more paprika, you need, you know what I mean? Sometimes the ingredients ain't put together right.
Absolutely. And you make good chicken. Let's salute to that.
Thank
making
you.
good chicken, Carlos.
Appreciate it.
Make some good ass chicken.
Paprika is a secret.
So, how did you get to know Amy and DC? How did you find the comics? Talk about that a little bit.
Spending a lot of time in the comedy club. We used
right.
to do Comedy Store Tuesday nights with Laugh Mob. And even before that, we were just comedy. I was co-telling with Bob at every comedy club, which is really a benefit. So I got to really see guys like DC.
I did the show. Remember?
Yes,
Aspire.
DC's been on the radar,
Okay.
forever, and a lot of the content we did with Aspire, who was another show we produced with Magic Johnson's network, Aspire Network.
Okay.
It's called We Got Next.
I remember
we did
that.
2 seasons of that, which was another show that I produced on, which was a new format. It was reality and stand up, where we would have a round table similar to this. It was Bob, me, and Red and Brayley Evans. Red Brayley Evans was a host, and we would sit around a round table talking about, this guy, DC Ervin, he from the Oakland, blah, blah, blah.
Vallejo.
Oh, Vallejo.
Valley Joe.
Oh, there's a difference?
Hell
yeah.
Break it down for me.
That's like,
I've never been to a debate. I know a lot of.
that's like saying
I'm trying
Studio
to go.
City or
There's a place I want to frequent because I hear so many great things, and I know a lot of cool cats such as yourselves who are,
It's just
close to
different. It's
the
like if
Bay
you
affiliate.
Brooklyn or from Bed.
Oh,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
it's borough
Like
distance.
Queens.
Yeah, it's like
Queens or
boroughs,
Brooklyn.
yeah.
All right.
Like they're like boroughs, but not,
Yeah, but
not the buildings.
Everybody be from the Bay, just like y'all just have a thing about y'all that's just cool shit always. Like,
like
always.
cool
it's
vibe.
consistent. I've yet to meet a corny nigga from the Bay.
Yeah, they're all super like just.
They out there.
awesome shit.
They out there. They don't travel.
They don't come to LA though.
Got a pep in
All
their
right,
step
y'all know
and
better.
shit.
Says, all right, I can take this shit on the road.
Exactly. You gotta have, you know, the ones who make it out of the Bay, man, they're special people.
So
for real.
DC is an interesting case because I found out that your father did comedy.
Yeah,
I heard
bro.
your dad's like a legend.
Yeah, I mean, Pops did it out the Bay. He didn't go past like to the the big screen or whatever.
Right. But like in the stand up in that circuit, up north and around, I'm sure Cali. And
He
whatnot.
came up with like the with Robin Williams and them cats.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like that. But
Did you used to go to his shows? Did you used to watch
I
him?
did go when I turned about 9. He would take me to the ones he did like when he started putting them on himself.
Nice.
I would go to those. And
Oh,
just
when he had
sit-
his nights.
Yeah, when he would do like he started promoting towards the end of his career. Whatever.
Right.
And I would,
How long did he do stand up?
Pops did it for about like 18 years,
Oh wow.
and then had to like deal with us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he like sacrificed. He did what I didn't do. Like I left my kids. I was like, all right, I'm out.
I gotta chase
I'm
this.
out. I got a dream to
Yeah, kids.
How is that?
Yeah.
How is that managing? Because you're a young father.
yeah.
You have the
Yeah.
great story. I love your story because you got twin girls. Your teenage dad, right?
Not twins, 10 months apart.
10 months
so
apart.
damn near
My bad.
twins.
My bad. Damn near. They look alike. They both got braids.
Yeah, they should be twins.
They
Yeah,
should be
but
twins.
10 months apart. I had them when I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16. And had the second one when I was damn near like 17, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Nah,
Did you go to your prom?
I did.
You still got to go to prom.
I still live like I didn't have kids.
That's crazy.
But that's when you have kids young. Like your parents help.
Yeah.
They
help a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, my
Grandma
dad.
all the
the
parents.
hard,
Yeah,
those
my-
are the hard years too.
Exactly. My
Yeah.
dad was chipping in. My mom was chipping in
Right.
and shit. So
And
yeah.
when did you find that calling that like I wanted to stand? Was it because seeing your dad and did he kind of spark it or
Bro,
it was
what
just outside stuff?
What was weird is I did not think about being a comedian, and it was right under my nose. Like I wish I would have started at like 14 or some shit. Like I could have
right.
been 9 years old, but I did not think about doing it.
You would have been an Isaiah Kelly.
Exactly. I didn't think about doing it till my homie started doing it.
All right.
And I was like, hey, we gonna manage you, bro. Like I said, I'm gonna manage you. I'm gonna take my dad, whatever he gives me, and I'm gonna give it to you. So, and he wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Like I was teaching him shit and he was going up there bombing. And I was like, I'm gonna try it. And when I went up there, I was like, all right, I think I could do this.
So
shit.
you're in the case of somebody who was like watching is like, yo, I could do it better than you doing it. And you
Yeah.
actually did it.
And right.
Which is great because when we talk to people who try to give us their input, it's like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like,
Exactly.
I'll come on stage. But I think it's always different if it's somebody who grew up watching comedy, you lived it and it wasn't, and you were funny yourself. So it wasn't far-fetched for you to be able to say, oh, I could probably try it if I
I knew how to tell a joke before I told a joke.
Exactly.
So if I would hear a joke that was bad, when I would go to my dad's shows and I see
knew it was
somebody
bad,
bombing,
yeah.
I was like, I know why he not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something naturally that I was picking up just at a young age. Like, he's
Yeah.
winning because he's doing this, or she's winning because she's doing that.
And I give you props because, like, I know when I came out here, every LA reputation was that LA comic steal, y'all niggas in cliques, da-da-da-da-da. But DC is always a guy who will, like, if he's engaged enough to watch you, he'll have some tags for you. He'll be like,
heck
put you to
yeah.
the side. A lot of comics
Right,
I see,
man.
they,
Yeah.
when they frequent with you, they be like, yo, all right, you got something for me. And they'll take what you offering because, usually it's pretty funny.
LA is kind of weak sometimes for this because it's on the comedy scene because we won't share shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Information.
feel like you're in competition with you. Like,
Yeah,
you in your own lane.
You're in
bro.
your
Just
own
do your
lane.
own thing.
Yeah. Like we don't have to it's plenty of room for everybody to make
They want you to share they post, but they don't,
Exactly.
want to share ideas.
They don't want to share
Combo.
idea, but like, could you post on your page? For
Yeah.
me, please? Can you
share my new sketch, bro?
Yeah.
or they'll tell you after the fact, after they go to the
you ain't hear about
audition.
it? You ain't
hear
hear
about this shit? You be like, man, bro, we could have
Yeah,
all
man. And
figured it
that's
out.
the
You
thing.
know,
It's like they don't realize we're crabs in a barrel.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
bro,
And it's
right.
like,
We
we're
all
all
this
in the
shit
same.
together.
Even the success that I have, people looking at me like you doing it and blah blah blah. Like no,
This
bro.
is just
Like
a start. I just scratched it.
like there's other people. There's just not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm always a lot of my time is spent around talent. So I'm like, I see you guys scraping,
yeah.
next to each other, but there's another battle even with me being behind the scenes,
For sure.
being African American or multicultural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, on the behind the scenes, because there's even
Challenges
less
on every
with the
level.
suits.
of me. You know what I'm saying, and I got to go deal with these suits, and then you know, you guys don't see the frustrations that I go through or people like me go through.
Yeah.
You know, the creators that are behind the scenes, because there's even other battles, not just being, you know, trying to get their role. It's like, damn, how do I get this whole show? And, you know, and then
a whole other realm of some
whole
shit.
other realm of stuff that is just, I didn't even think that I would be involved in getting into this stuff because I was doing it strictly for creative.
I understand
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's, I mean, it's, you know, I try to like always ask questions because I'm curious to find out what goes on, you know, behind the scenes when you're dealing with people who are, you know, they're six figures. They don't really care about the creativity. They just want to know about, does it make money? The numbers work. You know, are the ads being bought so that they'll watch this? Like that, it had nothing to do with how funny or how we got to, you know, make this show come to life. And it's
and
making
then,
them understand that.
You know, there becomes a point where you feel like you dancing to a different tune in order to make your, you know, living. And then there becomes a point where it flips and everybody's dancing to you. And look at Chappelle. Right. He was dancing to whoever's tone, whoever's cutting that check first, because that's how we got to do to get on. And then you're like, you step back and then you're like, you know what? My value, my ethics, my shit is worth more.
Way more than this. Yep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you know, obviously you got to be rich in order to even think like that.
That was definitely rich man decisions. I don't think like that.
Yeah, because I don't think like that now. But I mean,
reflect it for a year somewhere.
You gotta create
at some point.
Like,
hey, you guys did me dirty.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Chappelle can still make money while he thinks about his value.
That's the key.
Real talk.
He was still eating that whole time.
He's still like, that's the thing people need to understand. It's like, yes, what he went through, only a like small number of people go through because of how talented, how successful he is. But even in the down years where it looked like he was quiet, Chappelle was making good money.
Oh, right. Of course, bro.
And he capitalized, and then he started putting it back out there again for the masses to consume, and he made even greater money.
It's insane the amount of material that man has.
Yeah, for sure.
In his head. I'll never forget when he first left and when he came back. Remember when he came back from Africa?
Yeah. He was still kind of touring with those little clips that was shared at the Lafftracks when he was doing those 4-hour sets.
But before that, the first place he went was to the Punchline in San Francisco.
Frisco,
He loves Frisco.
And he was hiding out. That was the first place he went.
Yeah.
And he performed. And he did like about 2-hour set of just like the most amazing shit I've ever seen in my life.
Dope.
And I've never heard him repeat a joke from that set.
Damn. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
I gotta ask you something. How long you been in LA for? Like what, 10 years now?
I'm about 10 years now.
All right. So you get this. This is the I think the dope thing about comics in LA is that y'all get to see all the stars, whether they want to pop in and work on some shit or they want to come back on stage if they've left the comedy for like 5 years or if they're still doing it and they just want to test themselves around, you know, the young up and comers. So, have you ever seen Eddie Murphy get on stage? Is that true? Did he ever touch the stage and do stand up?
Never.
He was in the room.
Motherfuckers be lying.
Yeah, he was in the room.
He was in the room.
He be at the chocolate sundaes.
He be popping the chocolate.
And he had like a different vibe, like a glow to him.
Yeah.
He was with like probably the finest chick I've ever seen.
I mean, when you're a billionaire,
Yeah.
like, what do you?
You could create girls from scratch.
Yeah, it was like, she was made up because she was like, she disappeared when they left. Yeah,
He brought her in from, that was a fresh
it was something
import from, you know, Bangladesh or somewhere, Singapore.
But you've got to see a lot of like the stars, you know, work out and get their chops back, or when they're about to come out with some, you know, and I think that's a cool thing too, because you can either see how lazy somebody is, and regardless of if you idolize them when you were young, they're not that hungry anymore, or you can see the ones who are still trying to really get it and prove themselves. Like, how does that like feel when you were watching your idols like a Martin or a Chris Tucker? When a Mike Epps goes on stage or Adam Sandler, like how does that?
Sometimes it'd be hard to watch because they still have to. They're like when they're coming back into it, they're like baby deers,
right?
Shaking and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once they like, because Chris Tucker, when he first came back, he would work out at the Belly Room and Crack 'em Up Thursdays,
right?
And when the first time he came, it was like
same
but
shit.
Then but when he came back, like when he kept coming, he would come like every week for like a month straight.
Yeah.
Like, that third time, I was like, oh, I get it.
Right.
I get why he's Chris Tucker.
It's a muscle.
Yeah.
It's a muscle.
And
that's at any
Chappelle,
level,
too.
people.
With
Yeah.
Chappelle, I was at the Fillmore. It was like maybe like 3,000 people.
In
for the
Frisco?
South Beach Comedy Festival.
Okay.
So us little small comics were downstairs doing our little 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing the show. When he got on stage, when I tell you this man just said, "Hey guys," everyone lost their shit for like 5 minutes.
Hey guys.
He just said, "Hey guys," and everyone was like, "Ah!" They got up, they started screaming. He had to wait 5 minutes for them to shut the hell up.
Wow.
So it's kind of like that effect too, because it's like kind of nostalgic for us in a sense. Because we grew up watching these guys, and then we see them, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You ever been disappointed? Real talk.
Yeah, I was disappointed when Martin first came back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when Martin first came back, but then about the third time I saw him, I was like, oh, I get it. But his first time, and he did like the original room.
But see, we spoil. We in LA. Like we
that's
get
the thing,
to
and that's
see
what
that.
I try to tell people.
The rest
like,
of the world doesn't see that.
They don't see that.
Exactly. So me being spoiled and being like, but I was disappointed, just like, man, I wanted.
Yeah.
But I didn't grow up with Martin when he was coming up. They said Martin was
every story I heard, Martin was one of the funniest out there. He was just cold on stage.
Gator.
Yeah, they say Martin.
And what I love is how the legends now, they're finally getting on Instagram and they're sharing
Will Smith,
Chris Rock,
pictures,
you know, only Jay-Z is the only one who I'm like, if he gets on, then we've got everybody.
He's not on?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
He don't have an Instagram account.
Somebody got
his page.
Eddie got on the gram when he was doing his reggae album, and then he stopped as soon as that shit was over.
Eddie Griffin?
No, Murphy.
Oh,
that's when he was wearing the do-rag. Yeah, he did a reggae album like 5 years ago.
With Snoop. He had one with Snoop, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And
Did he go on tour?
Snoop Lion. He did some shows and some concerts, but
how did I mess the Eddie Murphy?
He was wearing a black do-rag. It was weird, but I still love Eddie. That's when Arsenio came back. He went on Arsenio show to play his music.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh, so the legends, when they big up each other on the gram, I like how they put a throwback picture and they'll share great stories. And Chris Rock will share it like how Martin, he's like one of the few people that blew me off the stage in Chicago. And he's like, I never heard people crazy. I had to go out the room to see why people were laughing so hard. And it was Martin blowing it up in front of him in Chicago. They did a show together, and Martin was so funny. Chris Rock couldn't follow him in Chicago. It was like,
so you just didn't follow him at all.
He had a bad set. He ate it that night. He ate his dick. It was just
man.
like, yeah, they were on the same bill. He said, he try following Martin, whatever, or Cedric in Oakland.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? And you want to come out here in New York,
do some shit.
Cedric in his church suit, and you out here in New York with a black leather jacket, trying to do your New York cool shit. I just like how Chris Rock openly would talk about that, like would big up, the Bernie Macs.
He said that about Patrice O'Neal
about Patrice too.
You got to respect the craft, man. Because here's the thing. Once you start making your $20 million a movie, that's easy money.
It's easy money.
The lines are already there. You didn't have to write them. You ad lib, and then you got a trailer. You live in Kush.
It almost makes no sense to go do stand-up.
Why would you go back to stand up? But then that itch.
It's that love you have to really love this. I think you have to be broke for a long time doing it to be like, oh, I'm doing this forever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just
like,
keep coming back.
Yeah, I just got to do it.
Yeah, it frustrates me because he's probably, I would say he's he's one of my favorites for sure, in top 3 or whatever. But Damon Wayans likes to retire a lot, but he'll come back. And I always say, just say you on a break. Him and Kat, they say retire. Just say you on a break.
U2 is never gonna retire. They niggas wouldn't be in their grave like playing with their guitar.
Yeah,
shit. Comedy is one of those things you can do forever.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do
George Carlin was damn near 70 years old.
Pretty much. With the cancer, getting on stage doing shows.
You feel me? Like this is therapy, man. Like
being connected to the people is like you can't compete.
And I feel like he just hated the backlash that he got from that Cosby interview he did in the Breakfast Club when he was just doing crowds and how some of them were getting tight.
Who's that?
Damon.
Oh,
and that's why he stepped away again, because he was just like, you almost can't have an opinion on anything. Like, it was just, he just feel like it's just really changed from when he used to.
Yeah, it's hard for the cats that did it back in the day because the way social network is now. They're not used to being your whole set
scrutinized
being online in a matter of seconds. They're like,
right.
Well, you know what? Somebody who keeps it pushing, yo, Sinbad, man. Sinbad is such a beast.
Sinbad's cruising.
He do like an hour every set. I've never seen somebody do like a whole. I worked with him one time a whole weekend. He did like 5 different sets.
And that's the thing. That's why I say going back to, if you got it, you got it. If they stealing that ID, that's a one-off of your million ideas that come up. Like,
because
go
you're that
ahead,
creative,
bro. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you need to get on and get you,
because you're gonna come up, so the real one gonna come up with something else.
Exactly, that's better than
Yeah.
trumping your shit.
Yeah,
but the people with no talent, they love to steal, and that's there's a lot of Hollywood.
Very true. Yeah.
Have you ever got a joke
no
stolen?
talent.
Do you see Amarie? Anybody ever take your jokes? And how do you deal with that? Do you confront them? Is it a phone call?
I had a dude.
You fight, have words with them? Have hands with them?
I've never had anyone steal.
Okay.
I mean, I tell stories about my family. My brother's in jail. He thinks he's a man, and my mom steals. Like, you can't steal that from me.
You can't
this
steal.
Is my life.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I haven't really gotten anyone to steal my stuff.
I think I've had a few people get me, but it's nothing like where I felt like, oh, I gotta prove this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a one-liner or something?
Yeah, they might take something that I don't do anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Because when someone takes a joke from you, you know where they took it from you at. You'll know exactly where you was at. You'll be like, oh, you got that from me there.
Yeah.
And I confronted some, I confront people and be like,
yeah, I got my first, hey man, I saw somebody doing a joke and I got excited. I was like, oh, wow.
oh, where are you again?
And back in New York too, I was like, oh wow, somebody in New York did some shit. Oh shit.
But see,
but then here's the thing, like I'm always about verifying a lot of stuff. So it's flattering for me because I have a different approach to shit, but I know there's nothing more I can go into about it because they couldn't remember the comic's name. And they couldn't. I need more to go off of than just like, hey, somebody was doing your shit. They did that bit.
If a band does a cover of another guy's song, the people know whose song that is. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure comedy is embedded and ingrained, just like how music is.
Well, the way y'all did it on True TV is no one can ever do
a barber joke
or a traffic joke than when I did, you know what I mean?
Like yours.
Exactly.
It would have to be totally different.
It had to be totally different. So when you put it on wax, that's the way you...
And then
that's the way you wax it.
Exactly, the publishing of it. Because, I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't know if you want to keep this on there, but, one of the Tory brothers, I won't say who. You probably already know who.
We can pick.
Well, came at me sideways over a joke somebody on our show. He supposedly, he said that this person ripped off verbatim his joke. And I'm like, how do I do that? He's like, well, you ain't doing your job right. And I'm like, that's not my job. I'm not the joke police.
First of all, it depends on the joke. Because sometimes niggas write some hacky stuff anyway.
It was an airplane joke, right? Yeah. And I was like, I had like 5 airplane jokes.
Yeah.
I was like, Tony Baker, who you talking about? Like, who? Barry Brewer?
Get specific.
Alicia
if you're going to go hard, give me the specifics.
Give me the specifics. And then I'm like, well, where is yours? I did that shit back in the day. I'm like, if you did it back in the day, there's got to be go tell BMI ASCAP to go get your publishing.
Yeah,
you know
they got to be.
If that's the
do
case,
it on paperwork
because I can't do nothing about that, and it's already done. First of all, I got that. A lot of the content was already on Spotify.
First of all, they're coming at the wrong person though. Exactly. You got to go at the joke. Who told the joke?
Exactly.
And that's also the issue too. Like people will take ups with like the wrong people. It's like, well, you can't. Why are you bringing this to me for? Like I can't watch every comedy stand up that's ever existed.
Exactly.
Like how the fuck am I really supposed to know that?
You know what I mean? I mean, I listened to literally 1,000 jokes in order to get the 86 that we.
True. Yeah. That was another tough process in itself because you had tons of comics at the wazoo submitting.
A lot of bad stuff.
You got to sit through a lot of bad shit. Watch a lot of bad shit.
And we had like 40 showcase nights. You know what I mean? And you know,
different cities,
different cities. It's like, I mean, this is this is like being an A&R for music. You know, I gotta hear thousands of tracks in order to find that Bon Jovi or that Bruce Springsteen or that whoever.
How's it looking for season 2? Has it been greenlit? Are you still waiting to hear a word?
I can't say.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's looking really good. Bob's out, scouring the country for talent right now. We're accepting submissions. There's an email that I'll give you. I forgot what it was, to be honest with you. I think it's Lafftracks at Gmail or Lafftrackscasting@gmail. Or
any comics listening? That's him trying to put free money in your possible money in your pocket, possible opportunity in your pocket.
It's a great look.
Great look. It's a great look.
Or just hit me up or hit Bob up on any social media. I'm at Marvelous. And on Instagram,
Marvelous,
MARV.
I can tell you look in the mirror at yourself every day.
Marvelous.
How do I look? Marvelous.
I mean, I was my first. I had MARVE_LOS. Yeah,
and that's how the people could find you.
Yeah, that's how they can find me. Or you can, just go to, info at Laugh Mob. Just send however Laugh Mob's all over Instagram, social media. So just Send a post, send a comment. Somebody will grab it. Somebody will send it.
And they're looking for funny stories.
You know, if you that hungry, you'll find me. I'm not trying to hide.
So
You could track
not
it down.
find somebody now.
He be out all the time.
Lafftracks.
He like DC. He be leaving his kids. He out here.
Yeah, I be putting a little, I be putting my kid to sleep and I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So DC, man. So like, you're in an interesting place because you have done a fair amount of stand up on television. So it's not
I did more than I thought, bro. I started thinking, I was like, I did a lot of stand up TV shows.
You're correct. Yeah. So you got some credit. You got some film credits as an actor.
Yeah.
Right? But how has it been for you trying to work, around the country and travel all over the world? Like, are you kind of going where you thought you'd be? Where do you feel like 2018 is what you want to do? What are you trying to do?
Put it like this. I thought if I look back at my career, I thought at this time I still had to be working a second job. But the fact that I'm just living off stand up, is like I'm good.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
of course, you always want more and this and that, but you got to ask yourself, is that for me? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can I right now, I know I couldn't be in a fucking action movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be I'm talking about like the shooter, nigga diving and shit. Like, my back be hurting. Like, I don't.
Got stunt double.
Yeah.
I just,
You just gotta look like you can do the shit.
Yeah, man. But I mean,
Look, man, Kevin Hart. We all know Kevin Hart can kick nobody's ass in a goddamn film. Okay, but
I like stand up, and
Yeah.
But I do want to start getting more on the writing tip.
Writing
stuff
working on
and letting
sitcoms
people
and stuff like that.
Yeah, letting people act my stuff out, my thoughts out.
You get a joy out of it, like an honest,
Yeah,
gratifying feeling out of that.
Exactly. But stand up for me is like,
Yeah.
I love that.
Are you trying to do an album, record an album maybe?
I'm about to record. I got 2 albums in the tank right now.
You already got 2 albums out.
I got 2 albums that are coming out.
Yeah,
and I'm just.
Oh, he what's his name? He DMX.
Yeah, I'm trying to drop like 3. Like, damn, DC got material.
It's like, bam, man, you on that Chappelle shit. That's what's up.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
But just on stage, bro. I love the stage so much, man.
What can people find you, man?
At DC Ervin across the board. At DCERVIN comedy.
Okay.
Across the board.
Across the board. So if you type that in your Instagram,
you're gonna find me.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Don't type across the board.
Don't type across the board.
There's an idiot that's gonna be like ACRO.
Across the board. DC Ervin comedy everywhere. DCERVN comedy.
So this drops Thursday. You got any shows next weekend you want to promote?
I'm at the Pioneer Underground and the Grand Sierra Resort
where's
in
that?
Nevada, Reno.
In Reno, Nevada.
Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all come out to that.
Come out to that. Amarie, you got anything?
Next month I have at the Nerd Melt. I'm doing a little improv, a little stand up, so you guys can check that out. So I'll remind you.
You got
guys
a date
next
because
week.
next month is not
420. So bring your weed.
There we go. 420 friendly. I have an April Fool's Day show coming up that's actually going to fall on the 1st at Bar Lubitsch. We are back there at 8:30. I'm hosting. I got a really good lineup on deck. Last one we did was a Valentine's Day. We had a really, really good time. So I try to do a show around a theme. I think themes and comedy shows work pretty good.
Yeah.
So I was like, April Fool's Day is the next one.
People come out.
People seem to come out. I don't know how I'm going to fool them. But I'm gonna
Don't
have a show. don't have a show.
But make sure you buy your ticket link so that the money goes through.
Yeah, it is. Get the link, but there's no show. April.
just tell them whoever their favorite.
Favorite. We got Kevin Hart popping through. No,
Yeah.
Kevin's not coming. So if y'all want to, I'm gonna talk to more about that as we approach the date. But it's April 1st. We're at Bar Lubitsch, 8:30. And if you want to follow me at Nick of Comedy, NICKOF Comedy, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all across the board. But don't
across the board.
Don't type that in. Man, this has been a great, man. I want to thank everybody, man, for coming through, man.
Bro.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for
The
having
Lafftrack movement, DC. I fucks with you heavy, man.
Appreciate that,
And
man.
I don't know when you're gonna be in car trouble, so that I can give you a ride. But
You whipped
it
up now, bro?
I'm whipped up. I ain't got license plates on me, but I'm whipped up. So we get pulled over,
I'm surprised you remember that, bro. I forgot.
I never
about
forget,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I can, man. Those are hard times because I was like, you gotta understand, man. Being a New York comic and then just coming out to LA with no buzz, no momentum, whatever like that. Niggas didn't understand why I was just coming. But
Yeah.
something in me was like, I just want to see what LA's like. I really just wanted to see what Hollywood was
Yeah.
like. Could I see myself living here? Are you guys as bad as New York niggas trash y'all to be? And I defend LA comics. I really do. I'm like, yo, man, okay, there's definitely thirsty
There's some bad
comics.
ones, nigga.
There are some horrible ones who don't care about stand-up at all, don't value it at all. They're doing it for another reason. But there are some funny LA comics, and I give LA comics even more props because there's not as much stages. You gotta really desire to be funny because there's just as many comics and not amount of places to perform.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
where in
right.
New York, you can obviously we get on 3-4 times a night if we hustle it right. LA comics will go do 3 or 4 mics and then try to get their 1 or 2 shows. So they're really trying, and the ones that come up, they really are funny. So I fucks with the LA scene heavy. And yeah, I definitely remember you giving me the rides.
My brother,
man. So this has been an episode of For the Culture, man. I'm Nick Alexander.
I'm Amarie Lee.
We'll be back next week, man. And just keep supporting, subscribe, rate us. That's very important because we need more. We need more of that. Robin, we doing good on numbers? Robin don't know. She don't be paying attention. It's not your job to know. I was fucking with you, Robin. I was fucking with you. You don't send
Robin's like
easy.
Easy.
Simmer down.
You don't send me the numbers. I know that. I just wanted to.
I'm gonna be doing that eventually.
He wanted to sound prominent. He wanted to sound prominent for a second.
Yeah, I had to. Robin's in training. But keep supporting, man. We appreciate you guys, yo. Take care. Bless up.
Hey. Good shit, yo.